I adopted 2 kittens. So today I want to talk about my top favorite plants. I'm not even sure how many I have here. I think it's like 6 or 7. But little life update. Since our last video, a lot has happened in my life. I adopted 2 kittens. Me and my boyfriend adopted 2 twin brother kittens, so they are likely to interrupt this video and walk in front of me and try and eat my plants while I'm doing this. So we'll see how it goes. But I was hoping to do a house tour, but with the new kittens, that just sounded a little bit too hectic. I haven't had a chance to clean the apartment. So instead, I'm just gonna do my top plants and why. So let's get started. These are in no particular order. They're all pretty top tier for me. And they're also mostly common, or you can get common varieties, and mostly easy care as well, which is number 1 why I like most of these plants. So let's get started. The first plant is a snake plant, or a Sansevieria. I prefer the larger types, but I was not going to stand here and hold a 50-pound snake plant for you. I have several that are the size of me, but this is one of my little ones. And this, I'm honestly not sure the varieties, but I really like snake plants because of their easy care. And honestly, they're low maintenance. The worst thing you can do is overwater them. I've never been able to successfully underwater one. I have only killed one, and it was because I made the mistake way back when I first started to keep it in my bathroom right next to my shower, where water dripped in it constantly. Bad idea. Don't do that to your snake plants. But yeah, that's one of my favorite just because it's easy. It's what I recommend to my friends and family who don't like plants or think that they're just going to kill plants, because you can only overwater it. So if you forget about it, whatever, and it's low light tolerant. So I keep mine in like medium to high indirect light because that's how my apartment is. As you can see, it's very bright in here. I'm squinting and the blinds are down. But they survive in low light as well. I've got one in the hallway. It gets like super, super indirect light, but I'd say medium to low. And it does just fine. Next is the Arrowhead plant. This is just, honestly, I'm not sure which variety this one is. I think it's berry. Okay, this one's, I think, the cream illusion. But I have so many Sansevieria, or Arrowhead syngoniums. If you watched any of my previous unboxing, you saw me get, I don't know, like 8 or something like that in just one haul. This is one of those, by the way. Plant update, it's doing fine. It's winter here, so I'm not getting a ton of growth on any of my plants. But what I love about these beautiful arrowheads is, number 1, look how beautiful they are. They're nice upright plants if you keep them that way, and they can be like bushy type plants, or they can be viney plants. And I love a viney plant, absolutely. I've got one hanging right there. I've got a couple hanging in my office right now. I've got them on really high shelves because I love that they look like this, but then after a while they'll start to vine, and that's so cool. Another great thing about these guys is they are really good in a lot of different lighting. So I've got this guy which gets high indirect light. This guy probably gets medium to low indirect light. I've got a couple that just get like straight low. Did you see my cat? Low light. They're very tolerant, and they're easy to propagate. If you aren't familiar with propagating, that's where you make your plant have babies. This one's not ready to be propagated yet, but essentially you cut it so that there's some nodes and a couple leaves on the plant, and then stick in some water, and it'll grow roots so fast. They grow so fast. YouTube, meet Raja. He is named after Princess Jasmine's tiger, and his brother's name is Simba. You guys know who Simba is. But this little fellow was trying to eat my next plant, and here comes Simba. I'm gonna have to do this one next so that I can get off the table. They really like to eat it. Simba, Raja. The plant that they are trying to eat is the only plant in my house they really try to bother with outside of playing in the dirt. They were outdoor cats, so they love dirt. But it is the palm. This is my smallest palm. I keep this in the bedroom, and honestly, they've never bothered this one until I brought it into the dining area and living area. But I love these. They're pretty, in my opinion, low maintenance. They are more difficult than some of the other ones I've got here, but they look so good. You can buy them almost anywhere. I'm in the Midwest, and I'm able to get this at like a Lowe's or a Home Depot or a Meijer, grocery stores, anything. And they grow so bushy if you let them. I've got another large one next to my couch, which is the one they're used to playing with and ripping to shreds with their nails. But yeah, you can get them large or small, and they're pretty cheap, which is great. As far as watering these babies, honestly, I just water them when the soil's dry, and I don't overwater them. I make sure they're in a nice airy soil, but not too airy like I would an Alocasia or something. And they seem to do fine with medium to high light. Do not put them in direct sunlight. I did that with my large one and didn't realize how intense my sun was when I first moved here. And it burnt. It burnt so bad. I had to move it and trim it up, and now it's much smaller than it was. But otherwise, they're pretty easy to take care of. I'm gonna go put this baby back before they come over and eat it again. All right, we're back. Let's move on. Next on my list is a common plant. This is probably one of the most common houseplants. It is the Pothos. This is a marble pothos variety that's kind of reverting back to jade in some places, but it's also in a cash pot. These are probably the most common houseplant, at least where I'm from, because of how easy they are to take care of. Not only are they easy to propagate, but they are easy to care for. This is a bunch of cuttings that were planted less than a month ago, so they're still a little bit high maintenance. That's a separate video, but they require regular watering. Whenever they dry out, just water them. They can tolerate a little bit of dryness. You just have to pay attention to the leaves. If they start browning, they're too dry. If they start turning yellow, probably overwatering. And then similar to the Syngonium, this one actually has nodes so I can show you. You just cut them so that you've got a couple of these little brown bump thingies. And you stick those in the water, that's where the roots come out. I actually have an example. This is cutting from the same plant that is just kept in this jar. This was given to me by my boyfriend's grandma, or I guess handed down to me. It's a very old cutting. It's been in here a long time. I don't think it could handle soil at this point, so it stays in the vase. Another thing that I really like about the Pothos is that you can keep them in the vases and they'll be just fine. That cutting has been in there longer than I've been dating my boyfriend. Probably about as long as he's been alive, right? So that's pretty cool. And then they're low light tolerant as well. However, they would prefer like high to medium indirect light. Again, their leaves will burn if you put them in direct light. You'll see the browning. See, this one's got kind of a brown edge to it. That's probably from underwatering, but that's kind of what a burn might look like too. The next couple of plants I'm going to talk about are not as easy to take care of, but certain varieties might be. So if you guys watched one of my first repotting videos, I had a whole spiel about how I'm not very good with Philodendron Brazil, and I couldn't figure out how to get them alive. And then in another unboxing video, I got one, and I figured it out, and now it's one of my favorite plants. The heartleaf philodendrons and philodendrons in general are definitely my top, but this guy I really just wanted to show you because of how amazing he is doing. I mean, he has grown significantly since I got him. He's been repotted into this cash pot with a little plastic pot in it. He gets watered pretty regularly. I just water him when he's very light. So I pick him up and he's very light. I touch the soil, it feels pretty dry. He's in very high draining soil, so it's not necessarily easy to tell with my finger. I'll use a water gaugey thing, hydrometer, but Yeah, he's doing phenomenal. I'm keeping him in the same spot as the first one I had that died. I mean, this one's really long. Got new leaves popping in everywhere. And the one thing that I think is absolutely amazing is I've managed to have completely variegated leaves. It's essentially got a string on it that's a lemon lime philodendron, which is really cool. And I don't know how I did this. It sits in high indirect light and gets like 30 minutes max of direct sunlight kind of as the sun moves in the evening. This is in my bedroom and I get only evening light really in my apartment because of the corner I'm on, but he loves it and he is doing phenomenal. And he's right near a humidifier, so he gets really good humidity as well, probably upwards of 65%. But I also love different varieties of philodendrons. They don't even have to be the heartleaf. I love philodendrons. I have so many philodendrons. When I get around to doing another tour, you will see I have too many and I want more. We have 3 more plants to go. Next I'm going to talk about Fatonia. So this is the biggest plant I've got over here because this is my only Fatonia. I gave all of my cuttings away to friends and family. As you can see, I've got 2 different colors in here. This green and white one is my original Fatonia. It needs a trim, but what I love about these is that they're actually pretty easy to care for. In my apartment, in my previous apartment, and where I live in Michigan, in the Midwest. And I've found that a lot of people complain that they're hard, but they're just drama queens. So this guy requires pretty frequent watering. It doesn't like to dry out, and when it's starting to dry out, it just like falls over. Absolutely falls over, looks like it's completely dead sometimes even. But you water it and he'll come right back, just like that. And then in the middle, you'll see a version of the Fatonia that I got in one of my unboxings. He's not as dramatic as the green one around the edges, but I put them together when I was planning on getting the cats. I was trying to have less pots around for them to knock over, and I was trying to move from all the ceramic and terracotta to plastic because they knock them over a lot. They really like to play in dirt. But yeah, this guy, I don't know, I just think he's really easy. He's heavy, so I'm setting him down. But I think he's really easy, and I love the patterning of the leaves. Maybe I can get you a close up. Like, look how cool that is. And for whatever reason, I absolutely love the small leaves, even though I'm a big leaf kind of gal. Told you we'd be interrupted. This is Simba. Next is the Peperomia obtusifolia. This is my like green one, the baby rubber plant looking one. So he was in my last tour video. I've had him for a while, and I have a variegated one as well. But since then, he started falling over, and I underwatered him a couple times, so he's getting a little funky, and I absolutely love it. Like, look how cool this is. So these plants are my favorite because, again, I think they're easy to take care of. And look how cool this is. He sits on top of my fridge, and this drapes over the edge, and this just kind of stands up straight on top of my fridge. And yeah, I don't know. You water them when they're dry. And the leaves are very thick, so they hold quite a bit of water. They're almost succulent-like. And I'm not good with succulents, but I'm good with these. And I found that mine do best with bright indirect light. I've had my other one, my variegated one, for 4 years now, 3-4 years now. And originally, for the first year of its life, it sat in direct sunlight in a window, and it did fine. There was minimal burning. But then when I moved back to Michigan, that was in North Carolina. When I moved back to Michigan, it started burning in direct sunlight. So I just kind of test your light based on where you are. I don't know if the Michigan light is more intense. I don't think that makes sense. But I don't know. They're just easy and they're cool. One sec. I forgot what I was saying, but I really like these plants. Last but certainly not least, Alocasia. Alocasia is probably number 1 or 2 on my list. It fluctuates by my mood, but I love them. I have bought so many Alocasia, and they are a difficult plant to deal with. So I have killed so many Alocasia. I have learned that when you're buying an Alocasia, buy it already large and established. If you buy a little baby one, it's really temperamental. I bought a lot of small ones, and almost all of them have died because I live in the Midwest and it is winter and it is cold out, so I have central heating. And my humidifiers cannot keep up with the needs of just like a little baby Alocasia or Colocasia. But all my big ones are doing just dandy. So this one specifically is my Regal Shield. And look how beautiful it is. This is its newest leaf, but I dumped some dirt on it. These guys I love because they're beautiful. They're absolutely gorgeous. I love the way they grow. I've got a large one right behind me. It's just out of frame over here, I think. Oh no, you can see it. He's right there. He's huge, and I have no idea what variety he is. I've had him for so long. And then I've got my Regal Shield. I've got another one of those, but smaller. And then I've got another one, and I can't remember. That's gonna bother me. I've got a ton. I've got less than I did last time I made a video because, quite frankly, I turned my central heat on and didn't realize how sensitive they were to the dry heat because all of my large ones have never really been affected. I don't even really get brown tips or anything, and all of my little ones, with the exception of like 2, just fell in a day. Like, I went to go water them the same day I started using heat and they were just crisped. I kept them for a little bit with some water. They never came back. They're all gone, including my little Stingray, which makes me so sad. I ordered another one. It's on the way. We'll unbox that together because if any of you follow me on Instagram, I went to Toronto a month ago, roughly, and I found one for like $30 Canadian money, which translated a little more friendly in American money. And it was like huge. It was absolutely huge. If I were to have ordered that online, it would have been like $75 easy. And I wanted to get it. Crossing the border with plants is very difficult, so I thought it over for a day. And then I decided I was going to do it. And when I went back on my way out of Toronto, the store was closed. So I didn't get it, and I'm really bummed. And now that my little one died, I'm really sad. This turned into a sad story time. We'll go back to why I love them. They're just pretty, and even though they're difficult to take care of, when you successfully keep one alive, it feels so good. But these are not beginner plants. Mine, I keep them in like medium indirect light. Do not put them in direct light. My cat's a bully. Yeah, don't keep them in direct light. I water them when not when they're fully dry, but when they're like starting to get dry and they're kind of lighter. I've just gotten used to the weight of them per pot. Like, this is a little plastic pot, so I'm aware that it's not going to dry up super fast like it would if it was in a terracotta. I've got a couple in terracotta or in more pottery type pots, and the plastic ones I don't have to water as often as the terracotta ones. I want to make sure that some of the soil is moist, but without drowning them because they're susceptible to root rot. I don't know why else I love them. I just do. But that is my top 7 favorite houseplants. I absolutely love these plants, and most of them are really easy to take care of, and you can get wherever you are for pretty cheap. 8. I forgot to count the palm. My top 8. But anyways, thanks so much for watching this video. If you want to see more of my content, sorry about the break. Give me a thumbs up and subscribe. See you next time.